Hello everyone, welcome to Yarn Wonders. Today is day 20 of the 21-day granny square. We are at the last but one pattern. So this is a sun drop granny square. To me it seemed like the flower from this movie called Tangled. So yeah, this is also a very simple pattern, and for this I'm going to be using a size 2 acrylic yarn and a 4.5 mm crochet hook. Okay. This is part of a 21-day series, and I would suggest that you check out the other patterns as well. I have curated a lot of interesting patterns for this 21-day granny square series. I would suggest that you look into that as well. Now let's get right into the pattern. To make a sun drop granny square, just like any other granny square, we are starting off with a magic circle, chain 1, and we are going to do 16 single crochets. So row 1 is going to be 16 single crochets. Okay, so I've done 16 single crochets. Now I'm going to close the magic circle. So as you can see, this is a mix of bulky weight and size 2 yarn. So when you close the magic circle, it's a little difficult, but if you pull it and if you adjust this part a little bit, you can close it up. Okay. Okay, so done with 16 single crochets, and I'm going to slip stitch on top of the chain 1. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. So into the 16th chain we are going to do a slip stitch. So now the next row is going to be a row of double crochet stitches with a chain 1 space. So I've done a chain 4. So this chain 4 counts as one double crochet and chain 1. Now I'm going into the next space. So this is done. So I'm going into the next space, creating a double crochet. Again chain 1, go into the next space and make a double crochet. So by the end of this row we'll have 16 stitches and 16 chain spaces. So our flower is going to have 8 petals. So in the next row we'll be reducing these 16 stitches to 8 petals. Okay. So chain 1, double crochet, that is the pattern for this row. So row 1 was 1 single crochet and we did 16 single crochet. Row 2 was the increased stitch, that is instead of making 2 double crochets, we are making 1 double crochet and a chain 1. Okay, so this chain 1 is the chain space is where we are going to create the petals, right? So can just skip to the end of this row because I think you'd have got the pattern by now. I'm almost done. I have 4 more stitches left. But at the end of the row, let me just count the chain 1 spaces. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. So we have 2 more V's here. This is 15, and the last one where we are going to slip stitch will become one more chain space. So instead of a slip stitch, I made a single crochet so that this chain space is created. Now you slip stitch into this chain space, and we are going to start off with our petals. Okay, so we are going to start with the chain 3, and we are going to do 2 double crochets. Okay, and I'm going to single crochet. So this, I'm only creating half a petal here. This one I'll finish it at the end of the row, and into the next chain space create a single crochet. Now go into the next one, make 3 double crochets. I have a knot here. Okay, so we did a chain 3, 2 double crochets into this one. This is only half a petal, and into the next chain space we did 1 single crochet, and into the next chain space we are making 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 double crochets, all into the same chain space. So this chain 3 double crochet, chain 3 and 3 double crochet is what is going to form the petal. So this is 1 petal. Okay, like this we are going to create 8 petals. So now this is done, and into the next chain space make 1 single crochet and go into the next chain space and do the petal again. That is 3 double crochets, chain 3 and 3 double crochet, all into the same chain space. And now into the next chain space we are creating 1 single crochet. Okay, so now again I'm going to repeat the same thing until the end of the row, and I'll meet you back when I complete this corner. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm done with 7 petals, and for the 8th petal is where you're going to we have done this half petal at the start of the row. So I'm going into that chain space and making 3 more double crochets, and okay, done 3 more double crochets, and I'm going to do a instead of a chain 3 I'm going to do a double crochet. So this will land me at the middle of the petal rather than the end of it. So we have 8 petals. Okay, so as you can see our 8 petals are done, and now in this row is where we are going to make this into a square. So since we started with 16 single crochet stitches, we can easily convert this into a square. So I'm going to start off by crocheting a corner. So a corner cluster is 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, all into 1 chain space, And before we go on to the basic granny square pattern, let us create loops for making the basic granny square. So all you have to do is chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and single crochet into the next petal. So into this we'll be creating the side cluster in the next row. Again chain 3, and you're gonna go do a corner cluster. Okay, so since we have 8 loops, we can create 4 corners and 4 side spaces. Again chain 3, I've finished with 1 corner. Again chain 3, single crochet into the next loop. Again chain 3 and make a double crochet cluster into the next loop. Okay, as you can see, the square we already got the square. So now you can easily continue the pattern with the basic granny square pattern. I'm going to finish this row, and I'll meet you back at the end of the row. We are done with this row, so you have to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 here. Okay, so now the next row is going to be the basic granny square row, and if you're not aware of the basic granny square, I would suggest you watch day 1 of this series. I've explained in detail on how to make the basic granny square. Now for this row, start with the chain 3, and into this chain 3 space here we are going to create a side cluster. A side cluster is 3 double crochet and a chain 1. Okay, the first chain 3 that we made counts as 1 double crochet, so we have done 2 more double crochets and a chain 1. Again into the next loop we are going to create another side cluster, and chain 1. Again we are back at the corner now. Into the corner you will be creating corner clusters. Corner cluster is nothing but 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Yeah. Again chain 1, go into the next chain space and create a side cluster. Chain 1, I made a side cluster. Now into the corner cluster you are making another corner cluster. So this is the pattern. Into the corner cluster you will be making corner cluster. Corner cluster is 3 double crochet, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Into the chain 3 spaces you will be making the side cluster. Side cluster is 3 double crochet and a chain 1. Okay, after whenever you jump from one chain space to another, you have to create a chain 1. So I'm going to finish this row and I'll meet you back at the end of the row. So done with this row, and I'm going to slip stitch on top of the chain 3 here. No, I'm going to make a single crochet because it's a chain 1 and a slip stitch. So instead of that, I'm just going to make a single crochet and then slip stitch, chain 1 and fasten my work. Okay. So again, this is a scalable pattern. You can crochet it as big as you want. You can even create more petals by instead of these corner clusters and chain a loop here, you can create more petals like this, and you can scale up the pattern. Do try out this pattern, and if you make a product using this pattern, I would love to see your work. Do tag me on Instagram at Soumya_yarnwonders, and if you have any doubts, please leave it in the comment section below, and do subscribe to my channel to learn more about crocheting. Thank you.